already leveled out, right? Now lock that down. Good. This, if you remember, is called a slip flange. This one is a 150 pounder, and the reason I know that is because it's only got 4 bolt holes in it. But if you wanted to look at it, it's a 2-inch, 150 psi. All the flanges have writing on the sides of them. I'll tell you what they are. The reason they call it a slip flange is because it
Slips on.
Yes, it slips on the pipe. The way you want to align that is you bring it all the way to the end, and then the flange is extended about 1/4 inch past the end of the pipe. And the reason you do that is so that if he wants to weld it on the inside, what he can do is he can weld it without tearing up the flange itself or putting any splatter onto the flange. So that when you put your gasket on, you made it with another one, it's actually going to seal.
It's flush. You don't have nothing sticking out.
Right. Right. If you put that pipe to the very end, odds are it's going to leak.
Yeah.
It's going to leak on you. So when you two-hole something, do you have that level over
I
there?
got a couple that for you.
They showed a longer one. This is the older method of doing this. What you do is you put the level at the bottom of the hole, and you move that flange until you line it up. The other way is to take 2 bolts. I know Abe described it. Find them better.
That's why I give you.
Ah.
We gave
You can
you
do
two the
that
same.
Should have been another one of these in there.
We didn't see that.
So you bring them through there. Now what I do is I set my level on top of those, and I rotate that flange until I'm perfectly level. That's what you mean by two-holing. And you always two-hole. You never do a 12 o'clock hole. You never should have a 12 o'clock hole. So even if it's a high pressure or a heavy duty flange, see, I know this is a 300 pounder because
More
so
holes.
it's got a lot of holes. You never have one up at 12 o'clock. It's always like this so that it's two-holed. You can put 2 bolts through, put a level on it, and square it up. And if you always do that, if every fitter in the building always does that, whatever you have to work on, you can do it right on the bench and take it to the job, and it's going to be in the position that it's supposed to be in because it's been two-holed.
You can also put your 90s the way they go, and it's going to line up for.
The 90s should be 2-hole too. So
Same way.
Everything is 2-hole. So
So I've done it this way, right? I've done it this way where I just put the level on the bottom edge of the hole or the top edge of the hole, either way you want to do it. You still get the same result. What I haven't done is I haven't done this to make sure that that flange isn't kicked out in either direction, or I haven't made sure that this is perpendicular to the pipe. What I was wandering around looking for was that carpenter square, that rafter square, so that you can put that across the face of this and it extends out this way. I can take a measure all along that length and know that I'm perfectly parallel or square to the pipe. So that when I do go to tighten it down, if this is fixed, I'm not actually forcing that flange. It comes up flush, and I get a good seal or a good mate with the next flange. Let's see which other ones I can do. Oh, I can do that across the top too. If I put that square up here, I can tell if my flange is kicked this way. If I do it this way, I can tell if it's kicked out this way. Let's see what other ones. They make other tools that can, I'll actually bring one in that I've got in my toolbox that's got levels on them. It's got a level here, and they're slip bolts. Pop on there, any flange, and it's got a level this way, and it's got a level this way. It's no better, it's just different. So there's multiple ways to get to the same end. What is important is that This is square to the pipe, and that it's plumb. It's not kicked out either way. Either the top's not kicked out or the bottom kicked out.
What you want?
It'll draw down to that heat. Once you put a tack here, you'll roll it 90, put a tack on the bottom, and then the only thing is side to side. Once you get that one on, that third one on, it's not going anywhere. It's not changing anything.
But you should, until you get that third one, you should always be checking it.
Yeah.
Making sure it's
Yeah.
always.
And light tacks, you tap that with a hammer, and it'll move for you. It will move. Okay, I can do this and level that up. I can do this and make sure that it levels up. And if you look, I'm creating just a slight gap in between the two. That's the purpose of those rings, so that I don't have to try and hold it at a certain distance. You'll see guys put wires through there, bevel it. It was below was it a 4-inch pipe that they say it's got to have a gap. Yeah. It might have been two. It was either 2 or 4. It's listed. It's listed in the book. So even on this right here, see, I can have it perfectly level this way and still be off this way. So you got to make sure that you get it. Check it and then check it again, so that it is level both ways. So much with it. This starts out with. Now you can take this 45 and you can quarter it, and that'll help your eye see that it's straight. But a 45 is a 45. You're going to have to get to the adjusting point of seeing that that 45 is lined up right. So I can do this with it. I can do this all day and make it right. But I can't do anything with this other than
Lay it out.
right. See, I can try and lay it on there any way I want to. And this may help a little bit, but with the fact that it's a 45, you know, there's no solid reference point to doing this. Let's see what else. Oh, grab a 90. Yep. There you go. You try it.
You said right. They're videoing you, Jay.
Yeah.
You're on for full display.
I hope you guys got video cards.
Yeah, come on down.
Hold that on. You said the level on. Yeah, I mean, how does the welder type that? Do you have to-
And you wanna put both of your heads on, because I see you.
It's also 150 pounds, I know it is, because there's only 4 bolts in it. It is a 2-inch, I know that because of my welder's eye, pipe fitter's eye. You do this the same way, except that if the other side was beveled, I would want to,
2 bolts.
yeah, my bolts over there. And I can run them through this way, I can run them through this way, whichever way is easier for me.
Well, you want your welder to be ready though, as soon as you get that level tack.
Well, good luck with that. Yeah. Put shit on the bench for over a week.
And the only thing that you can weld on this is the outside of the pipe. You can't get in there and weld that on the inside. So you
I
put
think the
your
time that once or twice that we
trusty
did
level
two
on there.
holding, we had a journeyman that was a little bit more precise, and he actually put nuts on both sides that would make sure that they didn't flop down a little bit. So, you know, if you go small enough, it
So
takes a little bit more time.
So as soon as you got that right there, you tell them, say, go ahead and tack it on
Tack
top.
it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
You roll at 90.
Would you do the same thing if you had, like I was doing with the 90? Like I get to one level, you okay, tack it now,
Right.
then I'll.
That's why, and you keep checking, you know, you check regularly.
It needs to do that, you know, I've shown you, you line up the bolt hole with the bottom of the bolt hole with the level. You can level it that way too. You can not use a level, and you can do it off the sides, making sure that you got the same dimension. And of course, you gotta make sure that you are touching the same point, because if you touch up here on one, you're gonna get a different reading as if you touched in the center of the.
Platers or whatever that,
Yeah.
could be,
It's
with
a
certain
van
materials.
stone.
Yep.
Would a gasket go with that, with the plastic?
Yes. Yep. Depending on whatever material, they have a different type of a rubber one that they can put in there. It's not gonna be Buna rubber, it's gonna be something like, Viton or something like that. Something that's heavy, that's gonna hold up against an acid or hydraulic oil, we use a lot of Viton. That's just a higher form of rubber that withstands acids,
usually,
oils.
Viton, like, we use them we have a lot of fuel systems that check carburetors. And, with the Viton, usually you can tell them because they have a little dot, on them that would tell you if it was an O-ring or whatever, it would have, I think maybe yellow, I don't remember now what color, but it would be a dot that you know is different from just regular rubber. And, it was for, certain types of, things that could eat it up, you know, yeah.
Let's see. Homemade one.
Yeah. Done that.
And that, some of them are like a U-bolt, some of them are a 2-bolt that come up to the bottom, they've got like a, half of a housing on the bottom of them, and you bolt through. And some you can drill through after you've got something on there. Most of them, you have to shut the system down, drill the hole, clean the hole, put the gasket on, and then you can clamp it to the pipe. But they do make them, and you can do them if you take one of those, like a Victaulic one, and put it on there, clamp it on there, put a nipple, put a valve, put a pressure cap on there, and go right through there without ever shutting the system down.